file.
Right. And just deleted. So they didn't even, but they weren't aware that it was shifting.
Yeah.
Right. So it can be that subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I feel like, ayahuasca or psilocybin is very, you go in with a very specific intention, and the plant medicine shows you something. It shows you what you need to see, and it gives you this big download, right?
Yes.
You're like, oh, I'm one with the universe, right?
Right.
And that's beautiful. Whereas flower essences, I would say, are more for like the householder that doesn't want to travel to Peru and hang out with a shaman, but wants,
and it truly is like what you're saying, what microdosing, right? I mean, it truly is. You're not taking this hero dose. You're like working it through your day when you're feeling, maybe something. And even in that, it's helping people tune into their intuition more. Like when you feel the thing coming up, rising up, for me, I went through this whole cycle back in 2005 and 2006. I had a major sort of dark night of the soul experience, and like my first kind of spiritual awakening, and it would come physically into my throat. Like I would just out of nowhere have this wave of emotion, heat would rise within me. I would feel like I was like all this nausea, and it would just stick in my throat, which was obviously a ton of stuff about speaking, using my voice and speaking up and all of the things. But I think even those things, like some people don't connect with, that's an emotional thing that's coming forth, or a trauma trigger, or something like that. So I love the intuitive kind of more fluidness of what you've described. And
and what I love about flower essences is there's really no side effect. Right. So where in ayahuasca, you're going to puke, you're going to like not be able to be functional for a day
right.
or two or longer. Whereas with flower essences, you're not going to be tripping.
You can still go to work.
You're going to just feel a shift or not feel a shift, but some shift will be occurring. There's no side effects. Like you can take it alongside with medication, whereas you wouldn't be able to do that with, let's say, something else,
Yeah.
There's no major side effects. They're safe for children. Even with people who have like a history of alcoholism, there are glycerin-based ones, so they don't have to have the alcohol ones. I'm really cognizant of that.
Yeah.
It's just very subtle energy medicine, and it doesn't, it's not going to knock you over the head, like I said.
Yes.
But you might, some people do report what I call aggravations. And when I talk about aggravations, I mostly mean emotional aggravations, just like in homeopathic medicine, anything that needs to come out of the system rises to the surface to be healed.
Yes.
And so sometimes, an aggravation will occur. Like maybe you'll have an aggravated emotional response. And it's like, oh, wow, okay, maybe there's something under there that I wasn't looking at. Some people have reported aggravational types of things, particularly when there's like catalyst remedies that are designed maybe to provide that sort of
poke the bear, so to speak.
Yeah. But even them is very subtle. And it really, my experience is that it's all about how receptive you are to it on some level too, like the receptivity and your willingness to receive the frequency and the energy of what they're providing you.
Yeah.
Is pretty profound.
Well, thank you for sharing so much about it. If people want to find you and learn more about how they can connect with you, and also learn more about, I'm assuming there's potential links also to go down the internet rabbit hole, but where can they find you and book a session or email you or contact you and get in touch?
So they can find me on Instagram. I'm on there, elevatedalchemy.life. That's my Instagram handle. And then my website is elevatedalchemy.life. You can find me on there. You can book a session there, see what my offerings are.
And I'll definitely put all this in the show notes. Is there a book or a website that has more information about Dr. Bach and the history of it, or where, because I'm very interested in exploring some of those things too, just from an interesting, want to learn more about that.
I'm a Bach flower certified practitioner. I highly recommend going straight to the source, which is the Bach Center.
Mm-hmm.
The Bach Center, they offer classes with trainers, people like me who teach classes. I am going to be teaching a class in the springtime. I don't have the details ironed out yet, so I don't want to say too much about it. But I go through the Bach Center. You can find practitioners that are either local to your area. They have a whole list of practitioners. I work with them specifically because the people who are on the practitioner list are dedicated to preserving Dr. Bach's legacy. They're not, there's a lot of people out there
that are going rogue.
Bach flower practitioner, but they don't use the word registered practitioner. So that's something to note, actually. If you're looking for a practitioner, make sure they're registered through the Bach Center, which is based out of the UK. It's in Mount Vernon. It's the actual house where he made all of his remedies and saw his patients. So it's a really special place and really special, amazing people. And the gardens are still there, and it's all still intact in this beautiful, beautiful place. So I highly recommend, learning through that avenue, and their website lists books that are, specifically endorsed by the Bach Center, that are the ones that are most linked to his specific work. So there's lots of people who have come after him that do their own thing.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm a little bit more of a, originalist or whatever the word is, right?
Purist.
Purist. I go to the source of where the information came from more so. And I just feel like the integrity of
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah.
The integrity of the people. Yeah. The integrity of the people at the Bach Center is really top notch in a way where it's not just some money, there's all those marketing schemes. I just ooh.
Well, and the integrity of the remedies, right? Like you said, there's a lot of people that are hybriding and going rogue and kind of mixing and combining things. And so if people are interested in this specific type of, modality, it keeps it.
What I love about, and I was going to show you, on the Bach, if you get Bach flower remedies, they have on the side of them lot numbers, and there's a number, and they can trace it back to literally what year and what flower in what garden and who picked it. That's the level of integrity these people have.
Yes.
In terms of the quality.
Very
control. Cool. So
yeah. That just made me think, totally off topic, but it totally made me think of that episode of, oh my gosh, what, Portlandia? Did you ever watch Portlandia with the chicken?
I love that episode.
Oh my God, that one and Put a Bird on It are my two faves.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm on that one too.
Oh my gosh. Well, this has been so much fun. It is
kind of like that.
It is, right? Yeah. Which is good. We want people who are the keepers of the flowers and the essence and the spirit, and I love all of that. So, well, I feel like we could talk for hours and hours and hours, right? Which we will off of this for sure. I'm excited to begin my journey, and I'll keep listeners, I'll pop in from time to time with updates. I'll link all of your stuff in the show notes, and the Bach flower. I don't know why I keep saying block. Maybe there's something there.
There it is. Blockage.
Yeah, but I'm so grateful that we finally hopped on a couple weeks ago, and we've elevated it to this platform, and now more people. That's really what I'm called to use this podcast for, is to just expose people to different potential rabbit holes of their own to go down and explore. And it's fascinating that in all of the kind of spiritual and healing work that I've done, that I didn't even know about this. I hadn't come across this yet. So I guess it was just the right divine time for me to have it drop into my awareness and share it with everybody else now. So I'm excited.
I love this. I'm so glad you're doing this. I feel like it's really a beautiful thing to connect other people who are doing different modalities and learn about each other's craft. And I've learned so much just listening to your other podcasts so far. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. I also love, I've had a few people leave reviews, but I've had several people DM and send me messages and say, this has really helped also because, even on the business side, right? nobody really knows what they're doing. Like everybody's just figuring it out and stepping into it and trusting intuition. And so that's the one area of focus that I really want to also continue to help people trust and nurture and understand how to hear that and what that sounds like for them uniquely. And then to step into whether it's a creative project or moving or relationship stuff or whatever, but just, we already have all of our answers within us. You know, we think it's somebody outside of us, and it's us, and we can access that. So
true.
Thank you for trusting your own intuition and stepping into this next level of work for yourself.
Yeah,
I'm happy to be in your orbit and to continue to watch this journey unfold for you as well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, have a good rest of your day.
I will.
And we'll talk soon.
All right. Sounds good.
Take good care. So much good stuff today. I hope Jaime's journey, both the things she's personally overcome and the grace with which she's continued to be an explorer within her own Cosmix Innerspace, inspires or awakens a new curiosity within you. I hope you enjoyed learning more about Bach flower remedies. I know I cannot wait to work with Jaime on the next level of my own healing journey. Jaime and I will most definitely have a follow-up conversation after I join forces with my own flower ally team and uncover what each of them has to teach me. You can find Jaime online at elevatedalchemy.life or jamielove.photography. You can also follow her on Instagram at instagram.com/elevated.alchemy.life. Be sure to check out the show notes where I'll go ahead and link up all her information and the many resources we discussed during the show. Thank you so much for sharing your time and space with me today and for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode of the Cosmix Innerspace podcast, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or share this episode with a friend. I'd love to stay connected with you. On Instagram, you can find me at cammyk.com. That's KAMMIEKDOTCOM, where I share a lot more Cosmix goodness on Insta stories. And I'm at cammyk.com on Facebook. And of course, we can always stay connected via the Cosmix Innerspace Mothership over on the blog at cammyk.com. Okay, until next time, friend, I'm sending you stardust and so much love.